Today, we are diving into a question that it seems to break all the rules of logic. How could a rebellion possibly start in a perfect world? It's a paradox that really challenges what we think we know about human nature. And trust me, the explanation is not what you'd expect. So let's just start with a thought experiment, okay? Picture a world with absolutely zero injustice, no suffering, no lies, a genuine paradise. Now, why would anyone in their right mind choose to rebel against that? I mean, it sounds completely impossible, right? But figuring out why it happens, well, that's the key to this entire puzzle. The setting for this whole paradox actually comes from a prophesied time called the Millennial Kingdom. The book of Revelation talks about it as 1,000 years where Christ himself rules the entire planet. We're talking absolute peace, perfect justice, total righteousness. It's the ultimate utopia. And here is the twist. According to that same source, after a full millennium of this amazing golden age, it all ends in a huge worldwide rebellion. How is that even possible? How could anyone living in literal paradise choose chaos? To solve this puzzle, we have to look back. The key, it turns out, is that this is not the first time something like this has happened. We actually have a precedent. And that's when it clicks. This whole strange event at the end of time suddenly makes sense when you have that aha moment and realize, wait a second, we've seen this exact pattern play out before. And that realization is that we've seen this happen right at the very beginning of the story. I mean, think about the Garden of Eden. It was a perfect environment, total harmony, everything you could ever need, no injustice, not even death. And yet, presented with all that perfection, humanity made a choice. They chose disobedience. And this really gets to the core lesson from Eden. See, within this framework, sin doesn't need a bad environment to grow. It doesn't need injustice or suffering as an excuse. All it needs is a human heart that wants to be its own boss, that wants to be independent from God. The problem wasn't outside, it was inside. So if Eden was kind of like the first test case, then the millennium is presented as the final, ultimate proof of this principle. But this time, it's played out on a global scale for everyone to see. Just think about it for a second. This future kingdom basically eliminates every possible excuse you could have for rebellion. There's no injustice to fight against. There's no confusion about who's in charge, no oppressive systems, no demonic lies messing with your judgment, and no ignorance of the truth. Every single external problem is solved. Now, what's really fascinating here is the role of Satan at the very end of this period. He isn't the cause of the rebellion. No, his release just acts like a catalyst. He doesn't create rebellious desires. He just gives the people who already have those hidden desires a banner to rally under. He simply reveals what was in their hearts the whole time. So the crucial point here is this unmistakable pattern we see all the way from Eden to the end of time. Just being in God's presence doesn't automatically make you obedient, and receiving his blessings doesn't guarantee your loyalty. Why? Because for love and loyalty to be real, they can't be forced. True freedom has to include the dignity, and the risk of a real choice. And this brings us to a major collision with our modern culture, specifically with a very, very popular piece of advice that you hear absolutely everywhere. Oh, you know this one. It's in movies, it's in songs, it's in all the self-help books. It's presented as the ultimate path to truth and happiness, right? Just listen to your inner voice, follow your heart. But the biblical source material offers a completely opposite, and let's be honest, a pretty shocking diagnosis. According to the prophet Jeremiah, the heart isn't some reliable guide. He says it's deceitful and desperately wicked. Let's break this down for a second, because the difference here is huge. Our culture tells us the heart is trustworthy, that our feelings are the ultimate truth, and that being authentic to those feelings is the highest good. But the scriptural view says the heart is naturally deceitful, wicked, and not aligned with God. I mean, these two worldviews just cannot coexist. So, if the heart is the problem, what's the solution? This really gets to, the heart of the matter, and it leads us to the answer for the paradox we started with. See, from this viewpoint, the solution was never about just getting people to behave better. It wasn't about changing what people do on the outside by using rules or even creating perfect environments. The goal was always something so much deeper, a complete internal transformation. So according to this framework, The solution isn't about improving your circumstances, or removing all temptation, or even forcing righteousness on people from the outside. No, the solution is presented as something way more radical, giving humanity something brand new. And here it is, right from the prophet Ezekiel. The promise isn't to fix the old heart, it's to replace it. I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you. We're talking about a spiritual transplant, a total renewal from the inside out. And this brings us to the core conclusion of this whole theological argument. From the perfection of Eden to the utopia of the millennium, the pattern presented is crystal clear. The fundamental problem driving rebellion isn't seen as the external world around us. It's identified as the untransformed human heart within it. So we end up right back where we started, but now with a totally new perspective. We spend so much time, so much energy, trying to fix the world around us. But what if this source material is right? What if humanity's final, most important battlefield isn't our world at all, but the hidden territory of our own heart?